In 1990s India, where economic reforms are changing the landscape and the common man is burdened with survival, we meet Bhaskar, a mild-mannered, introverted bank cashier at the modest Magadha Bank in Hyderabad. He's just another face in the crowd, obedient, disciplined, and barely making ends meet. Bhaskar lives with his conservative father, a homemaker mother, his younger siblings, and a son. His life revolves around his 9-to-5 job, his scooter, and his wife, Sumati, who supports him silently, running a small food business from home. Bhaskar dreams of more, but life has given him little. His bank salary barely covers expenses. Humiliation becomes routine, his scooter gets repossessed, creditors threaten at his door, and he is often overlooked for promotion at work. But he endures everything with quiet strength. Until one day, something changes. While handling a transaction, Bhaskar discovers a technical glitch in the banking system. A 48-hour loophole in which fund movements aren't recorded in the main ledger. It's a dangerous vulnerability. Initially, he ignores it. But as he begins to see the scale of illegal money passing through his branch, from corrupt politicians to smugglers, temptation takes root. One night, battling insomnia and pressure, Bhaskar runs a small test. He redirects a transaction of 2 lakh rupees, keeps it for 48 hours, and returns it. Nothing is flagged. No one notices. That moment awakens a fire within him. He's not just a victim of the system, he can now play. Bhaskar begins small. He reroutes money from dormant accounts and returns it without a trace, while slowly accumulating real wealth in the form of gold and stocks under fake names. One of those names becomes his alter ego, Mr. Lucky. He continues his day job with diligence, never raising suspicion. But by night, he studies markets, forms shell companies, and channels his illegal wealth into legitimate-looking investments. Soon, the signs of success appear: a second-hand car, better clothing, better education for his siblings, and upgrades at home. But all of it is subtle. Even Sumati begins to wonder where the money is coming from. Bhaskar brushes off her questions, saying his performance earned bonuses. In reality, he's sinking deeper into the world of white-collar crime. With each successful transaction, his confidence grows. He starts helping people anonymously, clearing a friend's debt, funding a girl's education, donating to orphanages. He justifies his actions: if the system won't help, I will. Meanwhile, a sharp CBI officer named Rajan begins investigating suspicious patterns of black money being laundered through bank accounts. All roads slowly start pointing to a faceless ghost, Lucky. The mystery man who never appears in person, but whose financial fingerprints are everywhere. Bhaskar's life takes a riskier turn when he gets involved with local Don Anthony, who uses his help to move smuggled electronics and gold. One transaction fails, and Bhaskar ends up in the back of a van, beaten and bruised. But instead of quitting, he learns to play smarter. He creates multiple identities, fakes documents, and even helps Anthony create a forged license racket. For the first time, Bhaskar isn't afraid. He feels invincible, but the cracks begin to show. Sumati sees through his lies. His father grows suspicious, and his bank manager, Sharma, stumbles on a discrepancy and confronts him. To keep him quiet, Bhaskar gives him a share. The chain of corruption has now pulled him in too deep. Bhaskar is now drowning in wealth but not in peace. His nights are restless. His dual life weighs heavy. A massive stock investment fails, costing him 40 lakh rupees. Meanwhile, Rajan has traced several fake accounts to one address linked to Bhaskar's neighbor. The net is tightening. Sumati finally confronts him. Where did all this come from? Are we safe? Bhaskar breaks down. I did it for us. For everyone who was crushed by the system. Her silence is heavier than words. The bank's internal audit begins. Sharma grows paranoid and greedy. He threatens to expose Bhaskar if he doesn't get a bigger share. Bhaskar, now trapped, uses his final trick. He liquidates most assets and creates a trust. All his black money is funneled into helping the poor. He's ready to be caught, but on his own terms. The CBI raids the bank. They arrest Bhaskar in front of stunned colleagues. His father watches in shame. News spreads, Lucky Bhaskar, the invisible millionaire caught. Some hail him as a modern-day Robin Hood. Others see him as a criminal. But the man himself remains silent. In prison, Bhaskar remains composed. During interrogations, the CBI struggles to connect him to the vast amount of black money moved through the system. Most of the money has vanished into offshore accounts and shell companies. Despite their best efforts, the paper trail is too complex, too smartly concealed. Behind the scenes, Bhaskar had already transferred 100 crore rupees into a secure overseas account using fake identities and international brokers. After a lengthy trial, with little direct evidence, the court releases him on bail. But the man the world knew as Lucky disappears soon after. Months later, headlines in London catch attention. Indian businessman acquires historic hotel in central London. It's Buskar, under a new name, standing confidently in front of his latest purchase, a grand hotel. He had escaped the chaos of India, the scrutiny, the shame, and reinvented himself as a legitimate hotelier in the UK. Sumati and his family are safe, quietly settled, possibly even abroad. He keeps a low profile but lives with pride. Not as a thief, but as someone who used the cracks of a corrupt system to build something for himself. In the final scene, Buskar sits in a luxurious office in London, sipping tea while looking at newspaper clippings from India. A faint smile crosses his face. The world called him lucky. And indeed, he was.